You've heard that there are two types of people in this world: those who see the glass as half empty and those who see the glass as half full. But have you ever wondered why we tend to prefer one over the other? If there really are two types of people in this world, why do we believe that one is more right and the other is more wrong? The thing about positivity and negativity is we always tend to talk about it as some sort of thing that we can always change. That if we look at the world in a positive light, or we tend to be more positive people, then we're healthier for some reason. But is that really counting the fact that there are two types of people? Or are we just trying to tell them to be more positive? I don't believe one is more healthy than the other. I tend to look at positivity and negativity not as some sort of glass, a metaphor that's been broken down a lot of times already before me. I tend to look at positivity and negativity as a compass, a tool that you might use along with charts and maps and knowing your intended destination, and then possibly figuring out if you're going the right direction. Positivity and negativity is a tool. Circumstances can be positive and negative. People themselves aren't necessarily positive or negative. It's just the way that you're looking at the circumstance. And looking at the circumstance one way or the other doesn't necessarily make you right or wrong. It's really about how you use that tool. Are you using it correctly? In the same vein, people like to talk about happiness. Happiness is a choice, they say. I was having a conversation with my ex-girlfriend, and she said that she was going to choose happiness. Well, as if I wasn't wanting the same thing. As if I was choosing for some reason to be unhappy with my life. And it's weird because I don't think you can choose an emotion. I think emotions are feelings that kind of overwhelm you. They overtake your state of being or your mindset. Emotions are temporary. Emotions are fleeting. You would never tell someone who is depressed to choose happiness, as if they were choosing to be depressed over everything else. That doesn't make sense. That's audacious to tell someone that. In the same way we don't choose sadness, why do we believe we can just choose happiness? Happiness happens. Happiness is a result of our circumstances, but it's always going to be fleeting. And chances are it's probably going to change, or it's temporary. And the thing is, positivity and happiness, they shouldn't be interchanged. Someone can be unhappy with their situation and still be positive about it. In the same vein, someone can be happy about their situation and still look at things negatively. The reason I bring all this up is because I feel like I look at the world and everyone's talking about their mental state of choosing happiness and positivity over everything else. But it's making everything else seem like it's wrong. It's as if you can't be sad with your current situation. It's as if you can't look at your situation negatively, knowing that things are not going the way that you want them to. And it's as if you're not allowed to be sad for some reason. Or that it's super easy to change your circumstance or to change your emotional state. Like flipping a switch or, I don't know, just turning over in the bed. It's not quite that simple. Negativity could be defined as this inherent lack of optimism. And I think that's a result of a lifetime of seeing outcomes, one after the other, showing you that things are not always going to be better. We have a chart. We have to be realistic. And I'm not saying that negativity is always realistic. Sometimes positivity can be too. But I'm saying you have to have a healthy balance of looking at your circumstances, both positively and negatively. And sometimes one is going to outweigh the other. It doesn't necessarily make you a negative person. I keep imagining this imagery of me being on a boat. I'm in the ocean. I've tried to figure out which direction I want to go, and I've started heading that direction. And then at some point, after looking at my charts and maps and stuff, I've realized that I'm not exactly going in the right direction, and there's a storm coming, and it's not really getting any better. I can make small incremental changes in order to get back on course, but it doesn't mean I'm going to go back. And in the same way, we can see our negative circumstances, see the direction we're going, kind of be unhappy with them or look at them in a negative or positive light, and we can try and make changes to move forward, but that doesn't mean that it's still not a negative situation. And that doesn't mean we should just change direction completely, go backwards in order to, chase this feeling of what we used to have, or to try and get back to this positive mindset. Circumstances are not easy to change. Sometimes you have to keep pushing forward. Sometimes you have to just make small incremental changes. And I think that's how we should view positivity and negativity. Not with a glass, but again, as a compass. Seeing that both of them are neither right nor wrong, it's just a tool. It's just a means for us to get back on track. You have to constantly look at your situation and figure out, where am I and where do I want to be? I started this because I wanted to talk about happiness and happiness not being a choice. And the truth is, I'm sad. I'm not depressed, but I'm sad. I'm sad because, my finances aren't going so well. I'm sad because I don't seem to have the friendships or the relationships that I want. I'm sad because I'm not exactly sure what the heck is going on with my life, or if I'm going to be able to afford certain things that I need to in order to keep getting by. I'm sad. It's not where I want it to be, but being sad doesn't define me. Being sad is just an emotion that I'm going through. And being sad, just like any other emotion, it's a gauge for us to see how we react to things. And you're allowed to react to things. You're allowed to authentically feel whatever it is, that emotion that comes out of you because of the circumstances that you're in. Telling someone to be happy when they're really sad is kind of like being in that boat. Except you're on the shore and you're seeing the sun and you're in a tropical paradise and you're on the radio and you're telling him, just get to this place. I'm sorry, but emotions don't work that way. I'm stuck in the storm. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is that when it comes to emotions and telling people how to feel, if you're not going to be in the boat with me, then you really have no room to talk.